Exciting news, everybody. Arms Trade Tanks Tycoon has entered early access. New map updates, look at that. We have Africa to contend with. The colonial powers are going to have fun. Economies, politics is all improved, which means plenty of time to get down this research tree. We will be sticking to tanks together again, see what kind of monstrosities we can create, including all the different parts from the newly added tanks to the game. So many new creations are awaiting. Aren't you excited? I certainly am. It certainly looks nice. Would you look at that? Excellent, and so does this. Stay tuned for more. You must love gaming because you are watching this video, so why not save yourself some money and get on Instant Gaming? They have everything you could possibly want. The new stuff, the pre-order stuff, and the classics. Honestly, you're missing out if you don't get on here. There's a link down below in the description. You can thank me later. Can you believe it? We're doing it yet again! A huge update has come in with many improvements. Arms Trade Tanks Tycoon is back in action. Currently still only the British, but we don't have 2 years to play. We have 20. We'll stick it on normal difficulty and have a dabble, shall we? Just in case you didn't know, this is MoisTea with MoisTea Tanks. How lovely is that? Yes, this is the early access. Isn't that wonderful? So, by all means, this is not a finished product. Done a few playthroughs of this game now, including when it was just a demo, which looked completely different. And if you've been following it and like how this is going, do join their Discord. There will be a link in the description, as well as one to mine, where you can share your thoughts and feedback and everything else. The planned release date, according to Steam, is the 6th of February, so you will not be waiting very long for this. Better make sure that you make this one of your wish-listed games to make sure you don't miss out. And here we go. So again, we're still currently only the British. We are just starting out with the usual bits. However, there are many improvements. If we were to have a look at the global map, you might be thinking, oh my bloody hell, what have they done here? And yes, it has expanded. We have all of Africa now. Now this will mean that our tanks will be tested in the Scandinavian countries, in the hot Middle East, in the hot African continent, where all this is going to get blown to pieces by the colonial powers of the time, which is, well, look, there's so many pieces, it's ridiculous. Each one of these regions can be grabbed and taken, attacked, destroyed by enemy nations. We have a look at this part, for example, British Empire. We've got budget preferences, so all this is going to be different. Lots of money going into the tank corps, that's good. If you have a quick look at the German, they are more interested in army corps. Portuguese, 50-50, and so on and so on. Each country has its own things. Different government types, I think that's just more of a display though. Economic strength, military strength, influence points, and political strength. Portugal is a little on the lower end, but if you look at Britain, political strength 25, economic strength 136, I presume that is how much money it brings in. And military strength will be how many regiments it has, I presume so. Maybe, maybe not, I don't quite know. We have a look at Germany, political strength 17, economic strength 88, significantly lower. That will be simply because of the colonies that Britain has. Military strength is higher though. We also have a bit of history that is relatively relevant to us. Belgium as well, they're all here. Ethiopia is its own thing as well. Wonder if Italy is going to try and murder them again. Spain has a few little bits floating around. I didn't think they had one down there, not gonna lie. I'd never noticed that one before on, say, Hearts of Iron, for example. But then again, this is World War I era, so I suppose it wouldn't. We've got all of the Balkans, Greece, Albania, Yugoslavia. Oh no, it's different. Oh yeah, oh, World War I, different. Austro-Hungarian. Oh, they've just changed it to Hungary. Okay, that's different. And then you've got the Ottoman Empire and everything else, which is lovely. All of these wars can and will blow each other to pieces, form alliances and trade and non-aggression pacts and everything else. We'll have to see how this establishes itself, because this is not a historical campaign. It's obviously based up to this point, but all the political and war side of things can happen between anything that is not historical completely. Like before, we had Denmark and Britain invading each other, and France invading Belgium. Man, that was interesting. Other improvements I can see from the last lot. All of these buttons now look much nicer. I can actually tell what is what now. I skip it for the videos, but the loading screens between are now much better. Look at that, much better. Everything looks a little bit more crisp. Just that little bit neater, tidier, and nice. I do believe there are a couple more tanks available than what there were before. And also, because we have 20 years to play through, we can really go mad with our wacky creations. I don't need to rush and try to get every single piece of research, because I should have plenty of time to do it and acquire the enemy's nation's tanks as well. So we should easily get through all this and make some stupidly effective designs. We will be competing with the enemies, well, our competitors, who are most going to consider the enemy as well. We have to out-design their bid to make them as effective as possible and hopefully not too expensive. Last time we skipped, for example, the Whippet hull. Well, there won't be any point in skipping it this time because I can get it. And that comes with lots of different pieces which are very useful for tanks later on as well. So we won't have to skip any. It'll be a case of what do we want first. At this point, this is all that you can do. Nothing added here that I can see. But there are more tanks available. There are 3 French tanks now. 3 German tanks. Other things that we can expect, you don't just get a contract for a load of tanks and then there you go, that's it, done and dusted. You will get a supply or restock of tank kind of contract, which is what they did in the demo, if you remember that correctly, where they would require maybe the same engine or the same hull for maintenance purposes. So that will be interesting. I actually thought it was going to go this way before, but they hadn't implemented it into this new build that they've done at that point. So they are going to be doing it on this one. We'll just have to see what happens with that. There are over 20 countries. Now I can sell to all of them unless they are at war with Britain. So hopefully that'll be a large customer base. Our tanks are going to be faced against infantry, armored cars, cavalry, artillery, and other tanks. Some of them, which we had in the previous run through, was my own tanks. Portugal and Spain both bought tanks off of me and then went to war with each other. And then it turns out the unexpected tank was a lot better than the other one, apparently. So that's interesting. With the game running for 20 years, it also means we can get seriously creative in what we build. Some countries are going to want different things, so I'm going to have to consider cheaper tanks for, say, the smaller countries, like Portugal or some of the Baltic states, or I'd say Africa, but it's all colonial powers. So I suppose they can afford the more expensive, heavier tanks. And each one will have different priorities. So Germany, generally, they like thicker armor on theirs. Britain generally seems to like infantry fighting vehicles, but in a heavy form, so lots of machine guns and a tank. and more reliability than anything. We'll just have to see how we go. There has supposedly been some kind of tutorial as well to help new players who have never played it before, and I suppose who have never watched a video on it. So things are being improved marvelously. With also the 20 years of time that we get to play with, it does mean that we have plenty of time to acquire those technologies from the other nations. So we should be able to go mental. First thing is first. I'm going to have to get the female Mark 1 Sponson. Going to get that going straight away so I can make a heavy tank with machine guns in it. Now that thing is going to be quite heavy, big, bulky. So the tank after that, I'm going to go for the medium hull, the Whippet, simply because this is nice and light, which is a cheaper option. In the design phase of things, we've currently got this design, which I'm not a big fan of because of that tail wheel, but it does improve stats. So for this first couple of tanks, I will stick it on. The engine, we've already got one designed, which is this Daimler Knight 6-cylinder Mark 1 thing. Now we need tracks. We are yet to get these sorted, but we can stick some tracks in there. We can edit this in engineering. And then a male sponson there, another male sponson there. And it's going to have to be the gun, which is a Hotchkiss 6-pounder, which I do believe they brought of a naval gun. There's going to be another one on the other side, and a machine gun at the front, which is also not currently engineered. So we've got to engineer all of those things. And this is where we do it, in the different section. So that is the hull that we are currently having in our design. They've got plenty of slots available for different things, which we don't actually have anything for yet. Now, just for the sake of actually getting some tanks built, I'm going to have to leave that as it is. We need a sponson, so we better get that sorted. It's going to be made out of iron, not the best thing. These are the stats: kinetic resistance 10 and shock resistance 5. These give certain protection levels against certain things, which we can have a look at in a moment. The things sticking it together, we've got rivets. Now these tend to go pop, but it is what it is. These are the stats: structure 5, structure 5 again. I think that is reliability, one is repairability, and the other one is volume. Volume is space inside of it. Space is very important. If it gets too crammed in there, then people start to struggle, trip over each other, especially in the middle of combat, which isn't very good. Now we can incorporate a vision port in here, which we're going to have to do. Each part consists of different materials that it needs, so iron, medium carbon steel, and a bit of glass. Don't think that's going to put up with bulletproof glass, but it is what it is. Time it costs, and the financial cost as well. Ooh, crew communications exterior gives 2 of them. Crew aiming, because they can have a gander at what they're trying to shoot at. Crew awareness, that's what they can actually see. Volume there again, and weight. Weight is so important. Then we have a turret door. This is how they get in and out of the damn thing. Now this will give some protection, rear thickness at the back, so 4, and then a rear ricochet, so a chance of a shell or bullet bouncing off is just 1, and then crew safety goes up a little bit, and so on and so on. Then we have a turret hatch at the top, similar thing but just at the top. It's going to take 5 days to stick that together. Get them on that straight away. Now this is our current weapon. As you can see, we've already designed it. That's why it's full of normal colour and everything else. Now this is the stats of it. Accuracy 15. Half of that is, well, not half, a little bit of that is because we've got some optics in there. Optics Mark 1, that is incorporated. Range 12 with an extension from the optics, which is good. Range is very good, means you can shoot first as long as you can spot them. Rate of fire, obviously, very important. You can see them is one thing, shooting at them is another thing, but continuously shooting at them is even better. Plenty of things in this gun which help with that. The recoil cylinder The recuperator cylinder, I don't quite know what that is, and the gun breech, that really boosts that. Now gun elevation, that is actually better than what I thought it was going to be. We'll have to see what it's like on the testing grounds, which also I do believe have been improved. So gun elevation, gun depression, that's how it goes up and down. Now anti-ricochet, so this should mean that it should go through most things without bouncing off. But we'll just have to see on the stats of, say, our tank compared to, say, a A7V. Those things are usually quite girthy and generally are hard to penetrate. So if you have a look at this, kinetic penetration 8, and that's not great. But this does not include the ammunition, so there's all that kind of stuff that you've got to think about. And then you've got the reliability of the thing and repairability. All very important. If a part of your tank breaks down or whatever, you will suffer. Now this is the machine gun, which we are yet to design. If we have a look, gun elevation up and down, and depression is not great. Anti-ricochet is not bad actually, but kinetic penetration is low. And that's why they'll struggle against tanks. They're not exactly armor-piercing rounds in these things. Designed to cut through flesh, not metal. This is our current engine. As you can see, this thing is heavy at 3.3 tons. That isn't great. Again, all the different components in there adding to that weight, so you have to consider that as you're building your tanks. Different stats again: agility, road speed, cross-country speed, obstacle slope height. So that is the angle, incline. Obstacle step height, everything else. There's all these things in there. Now this all amounts to how this thing is going to get around. If you are fighting in a rural area, then cross-country speed will benefit you more. If you are in more of a urban area, then road speed will help you more. Obstacle trench width. Trenches, they were designed after a little while to be wider and stop the enemy tanks from going through. That's how a tank ditch was created. Now, if they can't get over that trench, it's not going to be very good in combat. Operational range, how far the tank is going to go before it runs out of fuel, also very important, especially in, say, more rural areas. For example, the desert in the Middle East. Stealth, I'm a little bit dubious about this one, but stealth of the tank, how hard it is to visibly spot. Now, personally, I don't think it's going to be very hard to spot a big, lumbering Mark 1 tank of World War I. But they do all have factors. I suppose if you're in a tank yourself, it would be more considerably harder than, say, the infantry in the trench who can look up with these little binoculars. And they've got reliability and everything else in that. Then we have the tracks, which we have to deal with as well. Again, very similar attributes which are contributed. Another one here, transportability. If this tank is being lumbered around, then you need to be able to transport it to different theatres of war. That's where some of this comes in. But no, there's so many different pieces. Each individual bit gets stuck together. And at the moment, we've got the very basic. But as we get more tanks and more technologies, the list grows stupid. And you can make all sorts of stuff. Each one of these buildings has a purpose. And you can also improve its things. For example, in the production hall, you might want to have a casting hall or welding hall. These give you man-hour bonuses to building your tanks, make things a lot quicker. That becomes very potent later on when things actually start getting rolling. Right now, I'm only on the starting cash, so I'm not going to be building any of these just yet. If you do run out of money, you can get a loan, and it would appear that they have actually made it so it's a sizable sum now, which is lovely. Resources, we do have a good number of. Now, it does look like they've changed the UI on this again. Looks more like the older one that they did. Maybe they've decided the old one was better. Don't quite know. But one thing I have noticed is that the number of resources available has drastically increased. Oh, that is good. It means you don't have to order things every time, all the time. That is good. I like it. When ordering resources, there is a reliability of that and how long it takes to get there. Reliability means it's not going to get there. No, it doesn't mean it's not going to get there. It means if it's going to get delayed or not, which could be an absolute nightmare if you're in a bit of a pickle and trying to finish off a contract, but you just can't. But we are going to begin. We're probably going to get a few pop-ups. We'll see if there's a tutorial. Looks similar to what we had before, and it's going to just point you in the right direction, really, as to what to do. So this will be sticker design together and so on and so on. The news panel is actually a little bit better. So government news, more tax are required, and they're saying get your manufacturing plant ready. I may have been a lemon. See this little thing here? I didn't click it down. We already have these designed. Oh, what a sausage. Right, well, we've got tracks already. We've already... I now have 2 male sponsons, which are exactly the same. Might as well delete one of them. And stick the one which is already designed in there again, and again in there. We already have the cannons. Excellent. And I also did it with the MG. So we can already stick a tank together, which is right lovely. So, do you know I was on about the production hall? If we were to do a machinery workshop of cutting focus, that would improve things. A riveting hall, a rifling focus, that would be for the cannons and things. And then we also have a milling focus that would assist as well. But at the moment, we're just scraping by, so we better not. Crew, we have a commander, driver, gunner, blah de blah de blah. We need to fulfill these stats as best as possible. The weight is at the top there. Ideally, you want to be in the green. Yellow is acceptable, but starts to cause problems. Red is going to mean you're going to have some serious problems. And it all negatively sorts your tank out to being not as nice. And I probably said that in the most awkward way possible. But it is what it is. There we go. They've got a few people in there. It's going to get rather crammed, smelly, hot, and dirty. But it is what it is. 8 out of a maximum of 10. Now, each of your components also resemble how many men it requires to maintain it. For example, the tracks might need several. If we have a look at the mechanics here, the engine needs 5 points of mechanic, and the tracks themselves need 5 points of mechanic. So you need 10. Each person gives you 4, unless they're in a split, which it would be 2, and then 2 of something else. So yes, we could stick another person in here, which would then mean the gunner and say mechanic. There you go, gunner mechanic. But volume limit starts to reach the very near, and you have more problems. If we remove this person, smooth these are a little better. I think it really comes down to we're going to have to throw more money at it to get it nicer. But it is what it is. We'll do it. We'll have it so that there's more people in. You've also got to stick in some ammunition. Now you can only stick one type of one thing in, but yes, this ammunition, there we go. The amount of damage it does, shock penetration, kinetic penetration, and range. So if we remove this and have a look down where we are down here, let's have a look. Firepower hard, number of shells 23. Is that gonna go up? Yes, it does. There we go. Hotchkiss 6-pounder. If we have a look at this, so we had the gun itself, and then once clicking this, it shows the stats here. So kinetic penetration is 10. 2 from the ammunition. This is high explosive shell, so it's not going to do very much, but the gun itself packs a bit of a wallop. Then you have shock penetration. So the high explosive is good for that. 15, which is lovely, and the gun itself, which is 4. We have 2 guns for that, and there we go. We have that figure. And then we can, of course, paint it. Oh, there's no new paints currently available to us. We'll just go up and down. We'll make each separate one further and further down because I tend to mix them up and then goof the game up. So we'll go for that. It's going to take 35 days to stick together. We might as well do it now and start producing some for a contract. More tutorial tips. I think that's exactly how it was before. Another one. And another one. Oh yes, your place can burn down. Well, we need some money first. World News, the Holt Manufacturing Company. So this is going to be another one that's going to be a bit of a nightmare for us. And our research of the female Mark 1 is done. Excellent. We're going to go for the steel next, and then go for the Whippet hull. That way we're going to have a heavy and a light tank. That's going to take 30 days to do. Once I have more cash available, I will set an upgrade up in the research department, which means I can have more people researching, speeding things along. Ooh, we have a man who is available for hire. This is rather recommended. Here he is. What does he do? Assembly focus, man-hour cost reduction for tank production. That is great. Then we also have a workers per line. Ooh, workplace ergonomics improvements increases the number of employees per line. Oh, that is good. And then delivery time focus and supply time focus. So you can stick him. I know it tells you where he's best used. Optimal in the production hall or the warehouse. Now these guys are always very helpful. We'll get him, and it's going to take 5 days to jump to a plane or a train, and it won't be a plane at this point, will it really? Be a train probably to get his ass to the office, and we'll set him to work. I think he has different stats to the previous ones. Another prodige to get your ass into gear on various pointers. Don't need to look at any of them. Done it all before now. Oh no, and our man has arrived. Perfect timing. 3 days until our Mark 1 is ready to be pumped out. We'll stick him in there and see what it can do. Excellent. It is now ready. We'll stick it in the proving ground. Attribute sum 828. Not fantastic. The weight 30 tons. 9 people in there. We'll get it tested. That's going to cost me 13 grand. That's ridiculous. And it's going to take 20 days. 20 days. Bloody hell. Never mind. It is what it is. It's important that we do these things. Something that I did forget to do is get rid of these ones which were rubbish and I never used. But we need a female sponson setup. Now we have only the starter pieces, so it's going to be made out of iron. Rivets, stick it together. We've got no internal crew communications at the moment. You know, at some point we're going to be able to stick pigeons in these things and be done with it. We have an option, a turret door Mark 1 or a turret door Mark 2. The Mark 2 is definitely a lot better. It's slightly less weighty, uses slightly less materials, although I think they are a little bit more on the expensive options, but I suppose it doesn't matter. No, it's about the same. It's really very much the same in terms of cost and things. Crew safety is doubled, rear ricochet chance is tripled, and the rear thickness is improved by 50%. Why wouldn't you choose that? And the turret hatch, similar story actually. Nice. Tripled stats on the crew safety, on the top ricochet, and the top thickness. Nice. Well, this might mean that we have to build, design a better sponson for the male one as well. See, these upgrades would have come just from grabbing this female sponson design. It comes with various technologies. We'll get them doing that. It takes only 5 days. Now, here is our first tank of all glory. How many can we build? Is it going to let me? Oh, sugar lumps. Oh, we can go up to a maximum of 50. And we have the resources to build around 33. So we're just going to go with, I don't know, 10 just to keep them busy for the time being. What I can do is shove more people in there, but at the moment I'm not going to bother. Remember, we aren't making any money just yet. And the workers alone cost me 24,000 a month. I will wait until we're closer to getting more things done. That female sponsor is actually now complete. So what I can do is make a new design. I'm going to have the same hull, same engine. Get rid of those tracks, which I nearly repeated. There's the tracks. It's going to be the same, but it's going to have 2 females. Lots of machine guns. Get rid of that because that was crap. There we go. Blamp, blap, blap. So many. There's quite a few. This is going to be a Mark 1 F for female Mark 1. It'll take 26 days to stick this thing together. Oh, sugar lumps. I need to set it off without any crew. That's not right, is it? Well, we're going to stick a commander, driver. How many? Ooh, we're going to need less people in this one. Gunner, mechanic, and then a gunner mechanic. We don't need any loaders because we don't have any cannons. Excellent. So there's going to be less crew in there. A total of 2 less crew. Jeez, that's a lot more comfortable. Ammunition. We can only have 1 slot. Did I stick fuel in the other one? I actually can't remember. That's not very good, is it? Because it's going to be the first of the machine gun set, I'm going to give that the same colour. And off they pop. Oh, jeez. You know what? I didn't put bloody ammunition in. Oh, what am I doing, lads? Oh, man. And ladies, we do have some females in the audience. Excellent. What am I going to do? Oh, jeez. I'm glad I only decided to put 10 on. Right, I fixed it. Don't ask me how, but I have. I fixed it. All is good. It now has fuel in it and ammunition. Hey, jeez, not a good start to the campaign, is it? No, we're all good. We got this one as well now. Excellent, all sorted. Our man is producing, well, overseeing the production of them now. 29 days. They're in the proving grounds. We are now researching the steel again. Excellent. Rival tank has completed the design of the Vanguard tank, codenamed Hector 1. Have to keep an eye out for that one. Now we've got a few spare people. I hired 10 more. So I can improve this male sponson with the new door and the new turret hatch, so it's just a little bit better. Got spare people, we might as well employ them to do something. Now tank trials have completed on the Mark 1, so let's have a bit of a gander. Many things here need fixing simply because it is so rammed in there. Crew awareness, again, throw money at it. Oh, this is slightly different. It shows the improvement. Oh, sugar lumps, would you look at that? So the penalty is -5 because it's rammed in there and the reputation is down a bit. Or if you throw money at it, it fixes it. But it's still at -3. Damn, I didn't quite realise that. That one as well. Safety is at -1. Crew communications internal. All suffering because it's rammed. That one just fixes the reputation. So does that. So does that. I mean, I don't know how it fixes the reputation, but throwing money at it does. I suppose they'll just hide it. That must be what it is. Good practice. Instead of fixing things with gun engineering, you can just make it so it can't be seen. How good is that? Excellent. Bodging it all the way. So we'll see how that turns out. We could take it for a quick spin. There are supposedly new things which are now better in the test drive itself. But before we do this, before we get too carried away, at the time of I'm doing these recordings, I am running 2 different series at the same time. This and The Great War, The Western Front. I keep clicking that. It's really annoying. Oh, that must be a new way of doing things. But I record ahead of time, so what happens is, usually, I have 2 weeks worth of videos, all scheduled, and they release one at a time. At the moment, at the time of doing this, one on a Wednesday, and then another on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Everybody gets a video on those days. However, if you simply cannot wait, and you must see the next video, you can become a member of the YouTube channel. Now, all I ask is £1 a month. That's it. I am not greedy. It's YouTube. I shouldn't expect anybody to be paying stupid prices for videos on YouTube. However, you do get videos 2 weeks in advance, up to 2 weeks. Sometimes I let it dwindle down to just a couple, and then I put on about 8 at the same time. Sometimes I keep up with it as I'm going. All depends on how much time I have at the current time. I do have a 5-month-old who is a bit of a nightmare, but oh, I do love him. And work as well, you know, things are a bit limited. Flexibility is key, but you should stay roughly 2 weeks ahead. You get other perks as well. It shows up on my comments section, so I will see all of your comments first, and you'll get a swift response. Also, if you use Discord, you can actually join that and actually have a jolly good chinwag with me in voice chat about this game or other games, or play games with me if that's something that you want. You don't have to be a member for that, and everybody can do that. But if you're a member, you will have access to the recording lounge, your own members chat, which I will easily spot and check first, and a few other bits. Do check it out. It's so cheap, you'll be wet at the knees. And like the video, it gives the support to the developers, because it gives the game more audience as YouTube goes, ooh, this video seems right lovely. We'll see if other people think it's right lovely. And then other people go, ooh, I'll click on that, because YouTube shows it them, because that's how YouTube works. So if you really could, do hit that like button. It's fantastic for me and great for these developers as they get more attention as more people watch these videos. And like I said before, there's a Discord for them as well in the link in the description if you want to talk to them about it, or whatever it is that you want to do. There's always that option. And let's have a bit of a gander, see if we can see the differences. Here we go. It looks a little bit prettier. This is normally a little bit sketchy. At least we have engine sounds this time. It does look quite nice, actually. See if there are any improvements. It looks less foggy. The camera looks a little better. It might just be me though, I'm not too sure. Oh, sugar lumps. We need a break in the damn thing. Wow, this thing's flapping about all over the place. Any differences so far? Maybe the visuals, they are definitely better. It looks a lot nicer. Still can't shoot anything for my life, but thankfully it's all pixelated, so we're not too bad. We're going at this, and I think the brake suspension on that, if there was... Wow, that just went up! Okay, this has definitely been changed. I do want to reflect this on if... Ooh, sugar lumps. You know, you get a massive headache if you're jumping around in that. So the different tracks and the different engines all do reflect. Now this is clearly being changed, because I don't remember it being quite this springy. It's not great at swiveling around, but we're not getting too much interference. I can still get points for squirting at that from a machine gun. But no, not too bad. Look, I can shoot things all the way over there. Isn't that wonderful? I do think it's been improved in... eat me your words. Oh, I did get it. But shooting all them, gun depression on the trials has definitely improved. Now you can shoot things without thinking, oh, there's no way. I tell you what, though, it does look bonny, doesn't it? Look at this. The whole thing just looks crisp and nice. They've definitely improved this place. About to go over the finish line, and as we say on this channel very often, that is right lovely. Now, doing this is not necessarily needed. However, it does give you a small boost in the repair phase, so your tanks will be stuck back together with glue a little bit better. And the deployment phase, which I think is visual, so they can see the enemy tanks a little bit better. It's not vital by any means. But it is a very nice way on having a quick spell in your lovely tank that you have just made. And oh, would you look at that? We now have steel. Much better than some shoddy iron. Well, we better get on this medium whippet tank. And we have a small tank option. Now this will require me to go and grab the low pass running gear, but that is fine. I can deal with that. Our male sponsored 2 has been improved, well, finished. This is the improved version. This means that once we make a new design, we can stick this on it, which has better stats. Of goodness, it's all that bit thicker and girthier. Look at that, everything's in there. Right lovely, is that? Right lovely. Now we did just create steel. Now I can create a new blob thing and stick some steel in it. Look at that. Steel, that is much heavier. However, it gives 50% more in resistance, which is fantastic. Now it's pretty much 50% more expensive as well, but oh by heck, is it going to give us some nice juicy points when that could withstand some right good stuff. Now we have all the same of the other things. On the Mark 1, I am going to be persistent and keep that tail wheel on. On the Mark 5, which is the one really after this hull, I won't. But that's going to take a few days. That will more than certainly keep them busy. Ooh, design completed of the female version of that. Let's get that tested. For some reason that costs me £5,000 less than the other one. One more thing that I am going to do is create what I have done before, which is a tank that is both male and female. It squirts and shoots. Isn't that wonderful? Stick a cannon in there and another squirtiness, and another one. And this is a combo tank. We've got a commander, driver, gunner. Filling these stats up, another gunner. We need a loader, a mechanic, another mechanic, and then we can go for a gunner mechanic, and then everybody is right happy and lovely. Better make sure I stick some ammunition in there, otherwise it's not going anywhere. Paint, again, we're going to go for that one because it's going to be the first of its combination class. I'm going to call this one the Mark 1C Mark 1. So the Mark 1, which is the hull. C for combination because it has a squirter and cannons. And the Mark 1 because it's the first version of it. I'm going to be making a few more variations to the normal spin-off, because I don't know what the resupply sections are going to be like. So various improvements all the time are probably going to be very important in this one. Now I am going to leave this video here right now. Don't want it dragging on too long. If this game is something that gets you rather excited, do stick around. This is going to be a brand new playlist. It runs for 20 years, so I strongly think we will finally get everything that we possibly can, including this Liberty tank or the Mark 8, which I was denied last time because it was a 2-year period which we could play with. And then there are the 2 additional tanks which have been added to the game, as well as all the other ones which we can grab and reverse engineer, which we didn't actually manage to do in the last run. So imagine having all the pieces that we can stick together. We can make some right messes. Isn't that going to be right lovely? It's going to be weird. You're going to be thinking, what is that? But I don't care. It's going to be great. And I hope you will thoroughly enjoy it like you have done the previous ones. Hit that like button before you go. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Is there anything that you would like to see? Stick it in the comments and I will read it. Have a jolly good day. Have some tea. And yes, lovely. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. Hopefully, if you have, if you can like the video too, that helps as well. A special thank you to all of the members of the channel who get lovely benefits of up to 2 weeks worth of additional content early. Isn't that right lovely? Now the next video, if it's available, will be on the screen right now to the bottom left, and the full playlist to the bottom right. Have a good one!